Before the video begins, we have just had some updates posted from the Bleach preview screenings that happened over the weekend. The trailer analysis portion of this video was recorded before all of this news had dropped. That's why I may be speculating about some details later on in the video that we have confirmed here. These recent updates reveal a lot of key information answering most of our questions about the new Bleach anime. First and foremost, at the event it was announced that the new Bleach anime was actually greenlit 5 years ago, so in 2017, which is a year after the Bleach manga had ended. Now this is pretty shocking, especially if you remember the sentiment towards Bleach at the time, with people claiming that Bleach as a series is dead, or that the anime was never going to come back because Bleach was cancelled, or that Jump didn't want to work with Kubo anymore. But behind the scenes it was a very different story. With the anime being greenlit, they were also planning the I'm Still Bleach campaign that was promoting the release of the Bleach Jet art book, and then the Bleach art exhibition, and lastly the return of the anime. Each step was carefully planned for us to reach this point, but sadly a lot of people had lost hope and had badmouthed Bleach for years after it had ended. This just confirms that James Hansen was right, and he was the only real advocate for Bleach during those days when we had no confirmation of anything. When it felt like Bleach's time had come and gone, he basically leaked to us that the new anime was being planned as early as 2017. We all had kept our hope alive because of his passion and enthusiasm for the series, so a massive shout out to James Hansen for this massive W. It must feel good to be this right after years of people claiming that Bleach fans were delusional for thinking that it was going to come back. Next up, we have the episode chapter count, which gives us an insight into the pacing of the series. Now, I do speculate later in the video that the episodes will be about 4 chapters per episode, which is similar to the pacing of the last Bleach anime, when it was covering canon material, that is. So the pacing of the 1000 Year Blood War arc Bleach anime is on average 4 chapters per episode, just as I had assumed. The first episode covered about 5 chapters worth of material, while episode 2 covered 4 chapters per episode. We also find out that the second episode is called Foundation Stones, and we earlier had learnt that the first episode was titled The Blood Warfare through this image that Kubo had posted on Club Outside. Now this is reassuring to anybody who is worried about the pacing of the anime, because Bleach is not a dialogue heavy manga, so genuinely you will be surprised by how quickly you fly through the manga chapters. Readers of the manga will know this all too well, especially if you have been rereading it in preparation for the return of the anime. Next up, we have some leaks from the actual first episode, which details what happens during it, as we learn that the episode begins with Yhwach narrating the Emperor's Song, which speaks about a Quincy folklore of a sealed king that would return one day. This episode confirms that any appearances of hollows will be completely in CGI. As we have seen from the new trailer, the hollows have never looked so frightening, and the CGI blends in really well with the 2D animation. There is also a bonus fight of Ichigo, Chad, Orihime, and Uryu battling against the hollows, because in the manga it was just a brief appearance of Ichigo and company arriving, and we then cut away from the scene. Ichigo also transforms into his Bankai form while battling this group of hollows at the end of their fight, just to finish it off. The next bit of information that we learn about is the way that the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime will be releasing. We have learned that it will be split into 4 cores, so 4 segments of 12 to 13 episodes. From this, we are able to assume that the series will run for about 48 to 52 episodes. Now this series will completely adapt the manga, so we are not going to wrap things up at the end with a Bleach movie covering the final battle, which is a trend that recent anime are doing, adapting canon material into movies. So there is no Bleach 1000 Year Blood War movie, thank God for that, and each of the 4 cores will be split up, meaning that we will have a break after every 12 to 13 episodes, which will give the animation team plenty of time to work on the next batch of episodes. I really think that this is the best trade-off to ensure that we maintain this movie level quality that we have seen from the trailers. I've seen plenty of people say that they don't mind waiting as long as the quality is great. Now this can only happen if the animators are working with a healthy production schedule, and the splitting of the anime into 4 cores is hopefully going to help them bring their best to the series. I know that there is a vocal minority who will dislike this decision, but what would you want more? 1 year of episodes where the quality takes a nosedive after episode 3, or these batches of 12 to 13 episodes that will ensure that the quality remains at this very high level. By splitting the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime into cores, it will allow for the animators to not be that pressured, and they can do necessary corrections with plenty of time to spare. So after each core, the Bleach anime will go on a break and it will return after a few months. I am assuming that this means that the 1000 Year Blood War arc could be adapted well into 2024, and hopefully if it is received well, then we may get the light novels adapted and possibly the Hell arc if Kubo starts to regularly post chapters of it. And the last item of news we have is this new image of Ichigo Ichigo that was drawn by Kubo, and this was handed out to attendees of the preview screenings for episodes 1 and 2. Moving on from the recent news updates, let's start the breakdown and analysis of this new Bleach trailer by looking at this Twitter thread by the user Chromafire, who is an animation enthusiast just sharing his feelings about what was shown in yesterday's trailer. He begins by praising Taguchi, Kudo, and Yamada as he compliments their combined efforts in the direction of the series and the consistency of the art style and the composition of the scenes. Only by collaborating effectively were they able to achieve the amazing results that we have seen. Chromafire goes on to compliment the lighting and atmosphere of some of the shots, which I do plenty of too later in my own trailer breakdown. He speaks about the amazing variety of low light, high to medium brightness shots that are super consistent and give the series a very cinematic feel. The coloring and overall shading looks appealing and very modern, and there are some highly saturated colors which bring a touch of realism to the anime. He goes on to compliment the director of photography because of the variety of shots that we have seen from the trailer, as the quality is once again very consistent, with the trailer revealing to us a wide selection of shots from the first few episodes of the anime. They're using vibrant colors and emphasizing some of the visuals by using these amazing particle effects. Additionally, we got some incredible action sequences from the new trailer, and you can see just how many of them have an overabundance of effects that just add so much beauty and appeal to the animation. There is a lot of fluidity and dynamic movement captured here that is so rare to see in other series. Just look at this shot of Ichigo versus Iben, Byakuya versus Aznot, and Uryu fighting against the Hollows. Now this perfectly encapsulates what animation enthusiasts like Chromafire are loving about this new trailer. Then you have the effects department that have truly outdone themselves with the special effects involving Yuhobat, with this incredible aerial shot that looks fast paced as it cuts into a close range shot of Yuha with incredibly choreographed movements that result in some very high quality pieces of animation like this one. So with all of the news covered and an animation breakdown from Chromafire, let's now dive straight into my breakdown and analysis of the new Bleach 1000 Year Blood War arc trailer. I had so much utter excitement when I had first watched this trailer that I didn't even properly watch it because I was that blown away by some of the scenes that I was looking at. The quality of this trailer by far is the best that we have seen out of any of the promotional material for the new Bleach anime. This trailer has really set the standard high, as the animation staff are obviously very passionate about the work, and you can see their passion oozing off of every frame of this trailer. Not only are the visuals breathtaking, you also have the incredible talent of the 80+ voice actors, which includes returning actors and entirely new voice actors to the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War arc anime. They're helping to bring the series to life with their amazing work. Additionally, my man Shiro Sagisu has no chill, with his orchestral soundtrack blaring right through this amazing trailer. We get a preview of his orchestral remix for one of the most iconic early Bleach OSTs titled Precipice of Defeat. Just hearing the music combined with the voice acting and stunning visuals left me way too hyped up. So in this video, I want to go through the trailer in a play-by-play manner, giving my thoughts on every scene and making sense of this incredible preview to one of the most highly anticipated anime of the decade. There is also some anime exclusive material here similar to the Bleach trailers from before, so we will be discussing the implications of this brand new material that wasn't included within the manga. We have also learned that the anime will be split into 4 cores, which means that it will have 4 seasons that run for approximately 12 to 13 episodes each. So we can assume that the total run of the 1000 Year Blood War arc Bleach anime will be about 48 to 52 episodes, which is perfectly in line with the pacing of the 2004 Bleach anime, when it was covering canon material, that is. Most of the time, the episodes would adapt about 4 chapters per episode, and the 1000 Year Blood War arc has just over 200 chapters, so 52 episodes seems like a realistic number of episodes for the series. I'm hoping that as the series progresses, they announce that they will be adapting the Can't Feel Your Own World light novels, and Kubo begins to release more of the Hell arc manga, so ultimately in the end there is more and more Bleach material to adapt, and they can start on future cores of the anime after the first 4 that will adapt the 1000 Year Blood War arc. Okay, now let's dive straight into my breakdown and analysis of the second full trailer for the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War arc. So the trailer starts off with this red mist, Bleach trailer 2. We get this shot straight out of chapter 480 of the Shinigami's Research and Development Institute being alerted to 112 or more hollows having disappeared, and you've got this jaw-dropping visual of the dismembered corpses of several Shinigami laying on the floor, covered in blood. This is a key indicator of how uncensored the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime is going to be. Continuing from this, you've got the Shinigami in the Research and Development Institute typing away. Again, things are going crazy in the Research and Development Institute. Mairi's just looking on, and you can see the dull, muted color palette here, really setting the serious tone for the arc. There you go, with the hint that the people who are responsible for the disappearances of the hollows being Quincy, as we see the Quincy cross dangling in front of the crescent moon. Very iconic imagery, amazing backgrounds also. I mean, look at the scenery here of Karakura Town. All of this, the appearance of Iben there with the backdrop of the crescent moon and Karakura Town just looks stunning. Now, this is very important. This looks like imagery from Hueco Mundo where the Arancas are being chained up. It's pretty promising as it's revealing to us some scenes of the Quincy that are actually taking over Hueco Mundo, as we didn't get to see much of that within the manga. Again, we've got the corpses of Arancas. You can see the hollow masks on their faces. Similar imagery to before where the Shinigami's corpses were on the ground. You've got all of these Aranca corpses covered in blood. This blue flame-like reishi of the Quincy, and then the Quincy cross with the hand reaching out, and there you have it, Yhwach within Hueco Mundo. Look at these amazing particle effects. He looks like some sort of an angelic god, and of course he is the god of the Quincy. We know that the Quincy resemble more of an angelic-like appearance, and this here, I'm assuming that it's scenes from the invasion of Hueco Mundo that wasn't in the manga, and the effects of the reishi are striking down like lightning. You can see that the anime staff really have the effects and visuals on point. Wow, he looks like Frieza. He looks like Frieza just in the air, powering up 2 energy balls. It's absolutely crazy. You've got a storm brewing behind him, charging up his blue reishi. Again, it's a scene of Yhwach's mighty mustache that we've seen before. It's this very dull, muted color palette with this amazing blue lighting all over it. And we're back to Karakura Town now. Crescent moon, you've got this amazing imagery of a bridge within Karakura Town and a Shinigami jumping from light post to light post. Look at this amazing backdrop. It looks stunning. An entire skyline of Karakura Town here. Every single trailer that we've had for the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War arc, I've praised all of the backgrounds and the visuals. I just find them to be so stunning. And we had a similar shot to this within the last Bleach trailer where we had the power lines with the electricity effects on them. Here we've got the Shinigami who was tasked to protect Karakura Town, really biting off more than he can chew, as we're about to see. Okay, this is where shit hits the fan, and we get our first glimpse of hollows within the 1000 Year Blood War arc, and you can see that Taguchi is just ensuring that the hollows look as menacing as possible. I mean, this amazing red lighting for the eye, and this sinister evil grin. It's this guy's job to protect Karakura Town against the hollows, but Taguchi's drawn them so frighteningly, he's even thought, forget this. I mean, look at that smile on the hollow's face, and look at how that red lighting stands out across this muted palette. It really gives so much emphasis to the sinister nature of these hollows. This is an incredible scene where you've got a mixture of 2D and 3D assets. All of the buildings here are completely in 3D. All of the hollow models are also 3D. The only real 2D that you have is Ichigo and the gang here, and the terrified Shinigami who's being chased by the hollows. You can see how the lighting within the buildings really brings the scene to life, as well as the street lamps that are shining down onto the road. You can look at that. That looks sinister and menacing. That's an entirely CG model, but it doesn't look jarring at all in my opinion. It looks totally fine. Again, he strikes, and then that's Ichigo's signature Getsuga Tencho. I just cut straight into the hollow. It's moving smoothly with the animation. That's again another scene that we've seen from the very first Bleach trailer. And this hands down is probably one of my favorite scenes from the trailer. You've got Ichigo and the gang all here. You've got the menacing hollows behind them. Look at how evil some of their faces are. In addition to this, you've got this fog-like effect that is surrounding Ichigo and company here. It's really adding to the atmosphere and the eeriness of the series. We know that from the get-go, Bleach during those early chapters was a sinister and eerie series. As Ichigo identifies himself to the hollows, the music kicks in and we get this amazing remix of The Precipice of Defeat. Again, it's just the way that the song drops. Original work, general supervision by Tite Kubo. He's got that supervision role. He's involved with the anime. He's adding additional scenes that weren't in the manga to the anime, and he's being credited for that. It's not just original work Tite Kubo, it's original work and general supervision, which is highlighting his role within the production of the anime. Amazing shot of Orihime, Bread Girl, that we all love, and you get an opportunity now to hear some of the other voice actors, and you could tell that they haven't lost their touch, and it's been been 10 years since they voiced some of these characters. Some of these scenes that are occurring during daylight, the colors aren't as muted as they were before. Then this amazing scene during the daylight of Ichigo within Karakura Town. Absolutely stunning shot of Ichigo. This is again one of my favorite shots within this trailer. This is taken straight out of the manga. This is Ichigo within Hueco Mundo when he finally arrives. You can see that Hueco Mundo has got more of this greenish-like tint to it. Whenever they're there, the colors become really muted, and this greenish kind of light bluish lighting appears on their face. Again, some of these shots here from Karakura Town, that looks absolutely stunning. You've got Eben standing behind Ichigo here with the curtains open. Again, another scene taken straight out of the manga and brought to life within the anime. And then Nell falling down into the ground. Nell's voice actor absolutely killing it in one of my favorite lines that's been voice acted in this trailer, where she's warning Ichigo that something terrible has happened within Hueco Mundo. And there you've got a close-up shot of Haribel there. You've got this amazing black background with the blue lighting revealing Haribel there. Immediately just by looking at this, you can tell who has captured her as the cape is flowing away, revealing Haribel chained up. You've got the blood splatters on her arm and her leg. She's completely out of commission. That's another scene taken straight out of the manga. Some of these daytime shots really do reassure some of us fans who are concerned with the anime being way too muted. We are still going to be having some vibrant and excellent coloring, and the lighting and special effects department have clearly outdone themselves when it comes to adapting the 1000-Year Blood War arc. I mean, you can see Chad, Uryu, Orihime, they all sat down. You got the two Shinigami there, and Ichigo obviously in his Shinigami attire. This is most likely after his battle with Eben. And then there you have it. You've got Kilge's short montage here within Hueco Mundo, where we finally get to hear more of his voice actor. And he's got this really sinister voice. You've got him holding his weapon there. Get some shots of him taking part in battle. Again, that's Kilge versus Ichigo. And this is the entire scenery of Hueco Mundo. It's a lot darker. You've got this bluish, greenish lighting on the characters when they're in Hueco Mundo. You really get to know where the characters are just by looking at some of these shots. And I think that's really impressive in Taguchi's part. Okay, we're back in Karakura Town, and again, this is another amazing shot. The scenery and the lighting, you can immediately tell that this is occurring in sunset. You've got Ichigo looking unconcerned in his full-bring Shikai attire. Okay, there you have it, the reveal that the Quincy have returned. And you've got an amazing shot of Eben and the amazing effects of his Quincy abilities here. You look at how amazing the special effects and particles are just screaming out of the screen at you. And this sinister close-up shot of Eben's face, it looks amazingly drawn. Masashi Kudo is making sure that all of these character models are looking on point. Again, the lighting in the background is all occurring in a sunset setting. Battle taking place within Hueco Mundo. This is all Ichigo versus Eben. And you got the particle effects of the Quincy's blue reishi behind Ichigo here. And then this is something that we don't really get to see much within these trailers. You've got more shots of Ikaku and Yumichika, and then an amazing shot of Rangiku with this blue lighting. Obviously the Quincy are about to attack Hueco Mundo. That's Rangiku reacting to it. And my god, you've got this absolutely stunning scene of Sasakibe being impaled and fired right through the 1st Division barracks. This is absolutely brutal. You have the Quincy javelin that impales him, and the blue reishi particles and the splatters of blood after it makes that impact. Look at this. This looks stunning. This is what we have been waiting for. You've got Sasakibe really in not a good state here. I mean, look at how bright that Quincy javelin looks. You've got the blood, got all of it focusing in and out of the screen. You've got the blue reishi particle effects. And then this shot of Urahara. Again, the green palette within Hueco Mundo is further emphasizing the green on his character. We don't really get to see Urahara much in these trailers. I mean, we did get to see him in that first teaser where it was a preview shot of him after he activates his Bankai, but it's nice to see Urahara just in his regular attire here, somewhere in the trailer at least. Okay, then you've got this shot of Nell sitting on Ichigo's head as they travel to Hueco Mundo. Now this is really important. You've got Uryu here looking at a Quincy cross, and it appears to be that he's speaking to his father Ryuken. Now this is a scene that was exclusive to the anime. It's not in the manga, and we're having it revealed within the trailer, as Uryu asks his father that he already knows about everything that is going on. But in typical fashion, Ryuken states that this has nothing to do with Uryu. Now, does this mean that Ryuken will play more of a role within the 1000-Year Blood War arc? I'm assuming that this is one of Kubo's additions to the anime, as he did say that he wanted Ryuken and the Ishida family to have more of an involvement within the arc. Now, are we finally going to learn why the Ishida family and Soken Ishida had left the Quincy to live solitary lives? I would love to know the mystery behind that entire family. So it's going to be interesting to see if Ryuken has more of a role within this version of the 1000 Year Blood War arc. Then after this, you've got the shocked reaction of Uryu. Ryuken must have said something there. Then this amazing shot of Mayuri here, and you've got this captain's meeting occurring and Yamamoto talking to the captains as he tells them to prepare for war. Okay, you are back over the Soul Society as the attack finally begins, and again you get some amazing glimpses of these Sternritters that are drenched in that eye-catching blue reishi. We see individuals like Askin, Asnot, Bambietta, Bazbi, and Hashward, some of the key antagonists of this story arc, and then this shot of Ichigo in his Bankai attire. Now this seems to be another extended scene of Ichigo and company during their battle against that group of hollows when they came to protect that Shinigami who's being chased by them. Now this is anime exclusive because Ichigo did not transform into his Bankai attire when he was fighting off those hollows to protect the Shinigami. Again, Ichigo wielding his sword, blocking an attack from a hollow. Now this leads into this stunning shot during Ichigo versus Iben. You've got the amazing background there, the sunset palette, you've got the blue reishi, and then the particles that are falling behind Ichigo as he screams out Bankai. Absolutely stunning. Just after he shouts out Bankai, the Tatsuya Kitani song Scar, the new opening for the 1000 Year Blood War anime, kicks in. Now the opening is very lively and upbeat. It has a lot of energy to it, and I think that we were all expecting a dark, more emotional song that resonates more with us. I was assuming that we were going to get something like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Opening 5, which is the song Rain sang by the iconic band Sid, but Kitani brings an entirely new flavor to this opening, and I'm interested to hear all of it and see the accompanying visuals. It is probably the only thing that I'm questioning about this trailer, which is this song choice, but I do know that Kubo had handpicked this song out of a selection of songs that he was given, so I'm reserving to say whether if I love it or just find it okay, since this is just a sample of Kitani's song. I'm hyped to see the song with the visuals, and also I'm really excited to listen to the ending song, which we don't really get to hear during this trailer. Another incredible thing to note is that Hiroyuki Sawano is actually composing the music for the ending song. So this is probably the only anime production that will have two musical legends like Sagisu and Sawano working on the same series. When the song kicks in, you've got some incredible impact frames here. I mean, look at this. Some of the exchanges between Ichigo and Kilge, you've got these impactful frames that are further emphasizing the action on screen. Then I think that's Bazbi speaking there. And then that shot of Kira getting totally owned. You've got Yamamoto again speaking to the captains, mixed in with scenes of Kimpachi versus Yuhabak, Byakuya versus Asnot, and Ichigo versus Iben as he attempts to steal his Bankai. In this scene, you've got Hitsugai's voice actor absolutely killing it. This is obviously after his Bankai stops working when the Quincy steal it. Wow, and now you've got these shots of the lieutenants. You've got Renji, Ikaku, Yumichika, and somebody who we don't see very often, Okikiba, the third seated officer at the time of the 1st Division. Some amazing shots of Rukia there at the end, similar to the shot from Rangiku from before with the blue effects as she's looking up into the sky, presumably during the attack of the Quincy. Then this very somber looking shot of Yamamoto as he stares out, about to unleash all hell, to be honest. Now towards the end of the trailer, we see Ichigo, Chad, Orihime, and Uryu fighting the group of hollows from before. We know from the preview screenings in the first 2 episodes that Orihime will actually have her own segment here where she is battling against the hollows alongside the others. Everyone's getting a bit of limelight there, and this trailer ends with some amazing shots of Ichigo as Masakazu Morita, the voice actor of Ichigo, absolutely kills it with this final Getsuga Tensho. I mean, it sounds like it is shredding straight out of his throat with the sheer intensity of this scene. The last scene also confirms again that Ichigo does indeed transform into his Bankai while he is fighting against those hollows. So far, we have had 1 teaser and 2 trailers for Bleach, and throughout, we have been able to see firsthand the incredible lighting of Taguchi. The lighting and effects are crucial to get right. Some of the complaints of the first Bleach anime was that it didn't really get this down to a T. However, from what we have seen of the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime, it is evident that the tone and atmosphere is really being focused upon. The dull, muted color palette that is brought to life by some purposeful lighting and amazing particle effects. It just grabs you and pulls you into the scene, letting you know that you're about to witness some of the most intense material from the Bleach manga. Additionally, the Quincy being the main enemies of the series, it was crucial that they got the effects and visuals correct for their attacks, since blue reishi is such an iconic attribute to their power. So it is safe to say that Taguchi knows knows exactly what he is doing with the blue lighting that surrounds the Quincy. It makes for amazing contrasting color dynamics between the two factions that are waging war against each other. Just look at the scene of Haribal chained up. She is surrounded by darkness, but it is lit up by this ominous blue light which makes us immediately aware of who has captured her. Taguchi is telling a story here through colors. This new trailer has convinced me of the quality of the new anime, and I will confirm with all of you that it is indeed on the level of a theatrical movie production. Like I said earlier, we don't really know about the pacing of the anime from this trailer alone, but I'm assuming that everything that we have just seen is from the first 2 or 3 episodes, which makes me assume that the pacing will be about 3 to 4 chapters per episode, which is again like the last Bleach anime when it comes to covering canon material. I know a lot of you were worrying about it being 52 episodes, whether if this is enough, but I don't think you have anything to be concerned about. So what did you think about this new Bleach trailer? A lot of chapter 480 was revealed within this trailer, and it perfectly sets up the lore and story of the 1000-year Blood War arc right before the release of episode 1. I can't wait to read all of your thoughts on this trailer, and what tidbits did you manage to pick up about this amazing 2.5-minute preview of Bleach's final arc. If I forgot to mention anything, then definitely let me know in the comments under this video. And lastly, thank you for making it to the end of my trailer breakdown and analysis, and I can't wait to see you in my next Bleach update video.